How can she look so fresh, so clean?
It's a snap when you use Dial soap. You feel like you just stepped out of a shower.
Soap is a very important part in our daily lives. Without it, we would feel very sick and very dirty. Soap wasn't always like it is today, and people didn't always use it the way we use it today either. For starters, we should go all the way back to the Big Bang. Whether you believe in the religious aspect of how Earth was created or you believe in the scientific view, soap didn't just appear. The first soap dates back to 2800 BC. According to soaphistory.com, this soap was made with animal fat and water. Cavemen found that when old animal fat from their last meal was mixed with rainwater, it created a consistency that would lather on their skin. This same method continued through the time of ancient Greeks and the Crusades. This certainly does not come close to how soap is made today or its intended use, but we'll get to that later in time.
If we jump to the 15th century, the 1400s, this is where we see the baby steps of soap taking off in popularity. This is the time when special oils and scents were added to the gelatin fatty compound to give it a perfume-like purpose. The first oil to be used was olive oil, which was started in Italy. The people of the time thought these certain oils would cure symptoms such as insomnia, anxiety, and lack of energy. Little did they know, but this was the start to aromatherapy. The soap industry wasn't really booming for quite a while after that. The same methods and techniques continued, but people weren't really washing themselves with soap. Scientists think that horrible sickness that swept the nation, such as the Black Plague, could have been partially caused by the people's poor cleaning habits. In 1525, the first 2 soap factories were built, both in France. Since Europe was the place where most people had lived during the time, it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution when more soap factories appeared around the world, more now in North America. In 1889, Pearl soap came out, being the first soap targeted towards children. Post-Industrial Revolution, cleaning habits became more of an issue to abide by, and people would bathe and shower when possible. In other words, it became more mandatory to be clean. While we stay in the late 1800s and go into the early 1900s, the ingredients of soap became more than just animal fat and oils. There were chemicals added to make the soap smell good, lather better, and in all, just avoid the animal fat additives. Soap became so popular that people, mostly women, made homemade soaps. Soap making was a woman's job. While their husbands were at work for the long hours of the day, women would tend to the children and take up different hobbies. One of these hobbies was soap making. They would take old cardboard boxes and use them as soap molds. They'd fill the box mold with lye and water and oils, such as lavender, rose, spearmint, and lemon. They chilled this mixture for a couple hours until it was a solid, yet creamy consistency. They would cut their soap into cubes and then use it. This was a fun, cheaper way to get enough soap to last a couple weeks. Nowadays, soap making is not as popular, but those who still might find it interesting or would want to take up a new hobby, there are a bunch of fun-shaped silicone molds for your soap. Or you could hop back in time and use a cardboard box as a cheaper alternative. Now, in the late 20th century, going into the 21st century, there are antibacterial soaps that are great for hand washing and keeping you from getting sick. This is also what brought the introduction to liquid soap. 75% of all soaps are liquid soap and they are antibacterial. Liquid soap is a much greater alternative as opposed to bar soap. It is much harder for bacteria and germs to grow in liquid soap than on top of a damp bar of soap that is exposed in the air around it. Liquid soap is the most popular soap to use among the people now, from hand washing to washing dishes. It is the 21st century and soap has come such a far way. There is soap to accommodate any allergies or lifestyles, and there are organic soaps with no dyes or unnecessary chemicals. Soap is a very important item to have in our world, and as insignificant as it may seem at times, just try and imagine life without it.